I don't know.
Don't put that in.
Okay.
Hi guys, my name is Sarah Ali and welcome to my channel. So today I'm going to be doing yet another book review. But before I do that, I just wanted to mention why I'm wearing this thing. It's a hat with like pocket sleeves. In my last video, I said that I was going to be wearing like a little accessory for every video that I make in October in honor of Halloween that's coming up. I feel like it's been so long. This week has been the longest week ever and I'm so dead right now. Like I just want to curl up and read or watch Netflix and just sleep and that's it. But I need to make a video for you guys, so here we go. I'm going to be reviewing To All the Boys I've Loved Before by Jenny Han, as well as P.S. I Still Love You. Let's get started. I really liked this book, but I like this one even better, and I think I mentioned that in the unboxing video when I talked about this book and how everyone said that the second book was like even better than this book, and I completely agree. I'm going to be making some spoilers further along in spoilers later on in the video, but for now you guys are good. If you haven't read this yet, you can watch it, it's fine, and I'll let you know when I start to spoil it for you, but for the first majority of the video I won't be spoiling anything, so it's okay. The first book in this duology is To All the Boys I've Loved Before. So what this book is basically about is when this girl gets like really in love with her crush, she writes a letter about them and she like pours her heart and soul into the letter and she like confesses everything about them, what she likes, what she dislikes, why she fell in love with them, every single embarrassing thing that you would never want them to find out. And lucky for her, the letters got sent out and so obviously the guys, like, they read her deepest, darkest secrets about them, and like the book is all about how she deals with that and how like she has to like confront them and just how it awkwardly all occurs, and it's just like a really cringy situation because you'd never want that to happen to you. So yeah, that's basically how this story gets started, and it's really embarrassing. This book has some really cool characters. She has, well, first I'll start with Lara Jean, obviously. So Lara Jean is the main character, and she's really interesting because she doesn't really know who she is yet at the start of the book. So like while you read this book and then get into the second book, you can really see her character start to change and like bloom into the character, or to the personality that she actually is, and she kind of finds herself through these experiences. So it's really interesting to watch that and to see how like the character grows and stuff like that, and becomes more independent and realizes that she's not what she thought she was, and that like, you know, and she starts to kind of change and like grow into herself, right? So there's that character. There are other stronger characters throughout the entire series, like Kitty, her little sister. She is this like huge, blunt, brutally honest character, and how old is she? Like, she's like 9, right? Yeah. So she's a 9-year-old and she has no filter. She says whatever she says whatever she wants, whether or not she thinks you're gonna like it or not, and she just does whatever the hell she wants. She's like so herself that you can just tell who she is from the first chapter. Margot is a really strong character because you can tell what kind of person she is right from the beginning. She's super analytical, she's super smart, and she is that organized, and she's like super on time, punctual, just everything about her is like planned out and organized. Her dad is a very important character, and he's really sweet. Like, he's probably like the best dad in the world. Well, their mom passed away when they were younger, and he always tries to encourage them to like keep in touch with their roots because their mom was Korean and he's not. So he tries to encourage them to follow through with the Korean traditions and like with their Korean side of the family and all of that, even though that his wife isn't there anymore. Do you know what I'm trying to say? Does that make sense? Okay, so now that I've kind of described what this book is about and the main characters in it, I'd like to mention what I thought about it. I really loved this book. I thought it was really good. I love how it ended. I think that it ended really, really well. And I like, but one of my favorite parts in it were closer to the end, because then a bunch of stuff started happening, and like I was surprised and like shocked, and I literally couldn't put it down. Like, I finished this book in 24 hours, and then I got this one, and I finished that in like less than 12 hours. To be honest, I kind of felt, to me, like I didn't stop reading the first book, because the second book picks up like right when the first book ends off. So it's really like a really fast like continuation. So it kind of feels like I didn't pause between reading them, and I literally didn't, because I finished this one and I went and bought this one the same day. Like I wasn't able to live without reading this book, or at least starting it.
Mom, I need this book, Mommy.
I bought it. There wasn't really like a time to pause in between the storylines of the first book and the second book, so I thought that was really, really cool. I didn't really start off like introducing anything or you know, kind of slow, or describing the setting or whatever. It just literally is a continuation of the first book. That's all I can really say. I really like how it started, but the start also gave me a lot of anxiety, because usually if there's a second book and it starts off well, that means it's gonna end up really badly, because you still have like 200 pages to go until you finish it. So what could possibly happen in those 200 pages? That's kind of what I was thinking while I was reading it, and that's kind of what my sister was thinking too. Like, I remember when she was reading it, and I had already read them, and she was reading them, and she was like, Sarah, this worries me. I don't like how this started. And I was like, yeah, I know. But I didn't say anything, because, you know, we're big on not spoiling things. There are some new characters in this book. There was some depth in some characters that you met in the first book that you didn't really see very often, but then in the second book you kind of got to know them more. There were a lot more dramatic parts in the second book, because, okay, here's like a little diagram. I can't... Should I draw it? No, I'm not gonna draw it. I can't draw. But okay, so it starts off, okay, I get what's happening. Oh, it's getting more dramatic. Okay. Oh, and then the second book is like, pff, everything just happens, and the ball drops, and like everything is happening, one thing after the other, and like there's no break between like dramatic happenings. I think that's why the second book was so much better, because the first book you have to take time to describe the characters, describe the setting and the life of the character and the main character and their family and whatever, before you can get into the dramatic stuff. Because if you just throw them into the dramatic stuff and like the exciting stuff, like, you're not gonna get anything out of the book, because you can't really empathize or sympathize with the characters. I really like this book. I really like how, because in this book Lara Jean starts getting some backbone and some, like, you know, attitude, and she starts like becoming more herself, and, you know, realizing that like she's changing, and like Kitty starts to mature as well, and their whole family is changing. The family adapts when Margot leaves. Like, and then when she comes back for a visit, it feels weird. It's not the same, because like they've gotten so used to being without her, and they've gone into this routine, and like, you know, everyone knew what to do, and then when she got back, she expected them to just listen to her and let her take control again. But that's not the case, because everyone grew up, and they didn't need her to be their brain anymore. Margot was like the brain of the family, and that kind of bothered me. The characters couldn't think for themselves, because Margot was always just like,
oh yeah, you'll do this, and you'll do it like this, and you know, don't forget to do this, and blah blah blah, and oh, have you done this yet, because you really need to do this, or whatever.
She kind of expected you to always agree with her. Not to say that that's a bad thing, that's actually a really good thing, because for an author to get this kind of reaction out of a reader, that's a very good thing, because that means that they did it well. Warning! Warning! Spoiler alert! I will be spoiling the books. If you don't want spoilers, bye! By the way, if you want to skip to the end, the time will be right here. Spoiler time! In this book, I really thought that Lara Jean was going to end up with Josh. Like, I sincerely expected that to happen, but I felt like it was kind of awkward because, you know, Margot broke up with him and stuff. And so, like, I thought that Josh and her were going to end up together. And then I got introduced to Peter, and I'm like, oh, this situation does not look good. Something's gonna happen. And it happened. And I'm happy because in this book, they got together. Oh my god. This book, like, it took me on a roller coaster of emotions towards Peter. Okay, so let's like draw another diagram. So I started off, Peter was okay. He was kind of douchey, like the fuckboy type of character, right? And then he went really good, cause can you see my finger? I really like Peter. And then he was okay, and he was even better, or whatever. And then he died, and like he was dead to me, and he was horrible, and whatever. Lara Jean and Peter start dating, right? As pretend. But then like, they start getting feelings for each other, so then they actually start dating for real this time. For Valentine's Day, Peter got Lara Jean a really, really pretty necklace that she always wanted and whatever. Okay, that was all nice, and then they broke up. He asked for the necklace back when they broke up. Lara Jean was sitting there, she was like, okay, bell rang, time to go. And then Peter was like, yo, I need the necklace back. And she's like, bitch. I was more mad than Lara Jean was, because how could he do that? You just can't. You just don't do it. You just don't ask for it. Like, no. It really pissed me off. But okay. All the cute and like romantic things that Peter does really makes up for it. Oh, John. John, my dear boy John. Why did you have to come into Lara Jean's life and mess with my heart? Like, John is such a sweetheart. Like, he's so sweet. He comes in and he acts all sweet with Lara Jean, and he likes Lara Jean, and he kisses Lara Jean in the snow, and she is confused, and I am confused because I love Peter, but Peter's acting like a douche at the time. So I'm like, okay, maybe she should end up with John because he hasn't because he hasn't been a douche to her. But then I'm like, but I love Peter. You can break my heart. Do whatever you want with it. That was so cute. Like, why can't someone come up to me and just be like, break my heart, please? Or like, do whatever you want with it. What a romantic. I hate Genevieve. I just wanted to give a little message to Jenny Han. Beautiful. I felt like I lived a lot throughout it, and I grew, and I was inspired to go out, jump on someone and kiss them and hope that we can start a fake relationship, because maybe that'll end up into something more. No, I'm just kidding. No, that book taught me a lot more than that. This book teaches you all of the struggles that teenagers who have hopeless crushes go through, and it teaches you how to separate yourself from your insecurities and realize that just because someone else is making you feel insecure, like not deliberately, but just because like you may feel insecure because of what someone else is doing, doesn't mean that you are not good enough or you're not special to that person, because I don't know, it just teaches you that you're more mature than you give yourself credit for, and I don't know, it just helps you grow, and I don't know, I don't know why I keep saying I don't know, pause it. It also shows you that your family is a lot more important than people, especially teenagers nowadays, think, because in this book, like, Lara Jean really relies on her family, and she's really, really close to her family, and like, that's kind of changing now because a lot of people, like, spend all of their time locked up in their room, and they don't really pay attention to their family and their siblings and all that. Whereas these characters have a really, really close and strong relationship, and that kind of like makes me want to go out and bake with my sister.
Yes, we have to go.
I can't bake.
We have to learn.
Has a lot of good quotes in it. If you want to be able to have that really good like Instagram caption or like that random tweet that everyone retweets and favorites, read these books because there's a lot of material there. Thanks, Jenny Han. Please don't forget to like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more upcoming book reviews. My friends tagged me in a TMI video, so hopefully that will be my next Random Monday, just to kind of let you guys know more about myself. Also, shout out to Christian, my brother. I know you wanted a shout out a long time ago. I'm sorry I didn't give one to you because Juliet forgot to edit it. And,
sorry. That was funny.
Bye guys! See you next week. Look at these things.
Oh, you look so cute.